The content in this magazine could contain references of topics and difficult subject matter that may be triggering. Please honor yourself, inner knowing, and proceed with whatever help or guidance you feel is intuitively aligned. Welcome to Sovereign Magazine Podcast. I'm Nicole George, CEO and founder of Sovereign. I'm so happy you are here. We are the magazine podcast and community guiding 5 million women to their sovereign selves. From heart-led conversations to magical meditations, our inspiring guests will show you how they can help you step into your sovereign self. Are you ready to listen to your inner voice and step into your power? Then keep listening to hear all of the intuitive messages meant for you today. Hello. Today I have the privilege of reconnecting once again with Chris Melville, our in-house personal empowerment coach here at Sovereign, alongside her transformative coaching sessions and workshops within the Sovereign community. Chris runs a thriving coaching practice and is a certified rapid transformational therapy practitioner. With over 30 years of corporate experience, she's passionate about empowering women to overcome mindset challenges and build thriving businesses. She is a true expert in personal empowerment and is here to help others step boldly into their power. Welcome, Chris.
Hello, Nicole. Your introductions are always so good for my ego.
I love that. It's always nice to hear what we do in the world, isn't it? Well, if you didn't listen to our August full moon episode, I should say, Issues Our Magazine, with Chris, I highly recommend you pause here and go back and just listen to it. It's only 15 minutes long because this is going to be kind of an addition to that one. So I just wanted to give you that up front. So today we are exploring clarity amongst chaos, the theme for our August new moon issue. And in your article, Fear, Chaos, and the Snow Globe Effect, How Action Brings Clarity, you help us kind of tap into how our fears disguise itself as like planning, right? So instead of actually doing things, we're in fear. And so that swirling of chaos and overthinking is a reminder to us that clarity can actually only come through movement, not before it, which I love that metaphor. And you talk about how imperfect action sometimes is just like the best action because we don't always have the answers. And sometimes the puzzle pieces align when we do take that action. And you give us permission to let done be good enough sometimes. So for anyone who hasn't read your article, why don't you give us a little recap about it?
I see this in clients all the time, and we all have this like perfectionist streak in us, don't we? All of us do, because it comes with a fear of judgment. We worry about whatever we put out there, it's going to be judged. And therefore, if it's not perfect, it's much more likely to be judged. And also, that perfectionism helps us hide inaction due to fear. We can give it a title then. We can say, oh, I'm not taking action because I'm scared. I'm not taking action because I'm waiting for it to be perfect. So I want you to think about going on holiday. You want to go on holiday. Let's say you've been saving up. It's a special birthday or an anniversary or whatever it is. You've been saving up money for a couple of years. You want the perfect holiday. Yeah. What are you going to do? You're going to sit there and you're going to start looking at, oh, maybe we could go to Mexico, or maybe we could go to the Caribbean, or maybe we could go long haul. We could go to Mauritius, or we could go to Australia. I've always wanted to go to Australia. We could go to Hawaii. I mean, we've been to Hawaii before. We kind of know what we're getting. We could go to, and then you start the next step, especially for anybody who thinks like I do, is to go and research all those places. I want to go there. So what kind of stuff can I do there? What kind of activities can we get there? What are the hotels like? What's the food like? I'm fairly picky about my food, so food's always like a first thing for me. And 2 months later, you've not booked the holiday. Yeah, because you're so busy trying to figure out where you're going to go that you can't, it's got to be perfect. There's so much emotional pressure riding on it. It's got to be perfect, right? But until you go, you don't know how perfect it's going to be. And some of us can go to places that we've researched, we've looked into, we get there and everything goes wrong. Yeah. I went away for my 40th birthday or my 50th birthday. We went to this beautiful little place in Greece to an island called Kos. I spent a lot of time picking the hotel I wanted to go to. We rented a car so we could drive around instead of getting the transport from the hotel. Told the woman we were taking our own car there. Got to the hotel. We'd landed late. Got to the hotel about 11:30 at night, midnight. Hotel shut. It's not opened yet for the season. So it's midnight. It's my 50th birthday present to myself. I don't know where I'm staying. That had nothing to do. That was so 100% out of my control. Now, we had a great holiday. We ended up having a great holiday, which was lovely. But you can make all the plans in the world and something out of your control happens. Yeah?
Yeah. I
Hmm.
want to kind of piggyback on our last conversation and how we were talking about for our August full moon edition, which the theme was free yourself, and how you were talking about how sometimes women define their success on other people's terms of the right way of doing things, right? And so now we're kind of taking that one step further, and that validation was what we were talking about last time, and how we might get that in different ways to validate whether we're being successful. But now we're kind of in the action phase of
Hmm.
not being stagnant, and now we're taking the nudge, from the universe to move on and stop avoiding, right? And but when we're waiting for clarity, and when we're not embodying this movement that you were talking about in the snow globe, we could be missing signs, right? So like you were talking about in your preparation and all of that, like you might have missed that it wasn't even open for the season. So for the women listening, what do you think would be one thing that they could do, one small action they could do today to help them provide clarity amongst this snow globe effect?
Give up on trying to get clarity. Look
Mhm.
for proof. And how do we get proof? We experiment. And stop putting so much pressure on something being successful the first time you do it, right? I have a science degree. I've studied science most of my life. You experiment. You experiment, you read the data, you go back and you make adjustments. A lot of people, I see it in the coaching industry all the time. Somebody will launch a group program or a digital offer. And if it's not a huge success, whatever their definition of a huge success is, within the first time that they launch it, they give up on it. They go away. They never look like, what was the problem? Maybe you needed to drop your price a little bit because you've never done anything like this before and you don't have any testimonials to prove that you can do it. Maybe your messaging was talking to a different client than the people who would actually buy what you were selling. Maybe you weren't explaining the transformation in what you were selling enough, but you sold it and you put it out there and two people bought it and you were expecting 20 people to buy it. So it's got to be a failure. It's got to be a disaster. You have to throw it away. Where sometimes all it takes is just a little tweak and then it hits everybody's happy place.
Okay, let's go into steps to your sovereign self. So I'm going to go back to being that fairly new. I had described her as about 1 year into her business on our August full moon edition, and I'm going to be her. And I was looking for validation, and perhaps my business wasn't completely aligned with my values, which we talked
Yeah,
a lot about
we
values.
did.
And so now I've realigned my values with,
Mhm.
and my business, and I'm clear on that. Now, the chaos that I'm finding is my values are right, but I'm not quite sure what action to take and how to measure the proof. Like, what advice do you have, or even if you have like a tangible thing that they could use to measure proof or something along those lines?
One of the things I'm working on right now is helping people understand how to sell a program. that they've never sold before, especially if they're taking a completely different drift. Maybe they've done one-to-one work and now they're going to sell their first group program. So what we look at, we kind of, first of all, we get really clear on who do you want to work with? What's the transformation going to be? Yada, yada, all the foundational stuff, right? And then we start validating it before you try and sell it, right? Validate it. Go out and do market research. Reach out to people who you think this program is going to be for and make sure it's something they actually want. So many times we sell something that we think our audience wants, and it's not what they want at all from us. They want something completely different. So you validate it before you even start selling it. That's the first thing. Market research is invaluable. You find out, is this what you need? Are you willing to pay for it? Have you ever tried to do this before? Have you ever gotten help for this problem before? If so, what did you do? What worked? What didn't work? And then one of the other things you do is like you start asking and framing your questions in such a way that you get your ideal clients exact words that they use to explain their problems, their feelings, where they want to end up with after they would go through this program. You're asking your ideal client for your marketing. How can you not help but start reaching your ideal clients when you've got the exact words that they use? So the first step is you start validating it. And then if you've never done it before, you don't need to go out there and throw a great big launch. Everybody looks at these people who like throw huge launches like, oh, I made $100,000 on my launch. Launches are a lot of hard work. And if you haven't done one before, starting a new program with a launch that you've never done before is a big ask. Sell it softly. Reach out to people, talk about it. If you're good at networking, when you're on networking calls or at networking events, talk to the people about what you're doing. Yeah. This is how you'll get your first couple of clients. Don't try and learn a lot of different skills all at once when you have something really important and tangible hanging on it as a result. Just make your life easy. Validate it, sell it softly, sell it early. Yeah, take your time, like start selling it a couple of months, maybe even before you start needing to get that generate that revenue. Take your time in it, make sure you have the right people in it so that you'll get great case studies. Yeah, get really clear on how it would be a success for you. Not just money. What else? You've got happy clients. You've got clients out there who are talking about the work that you've done with them. Your clients now want to stay working with you, so you've got something to sell them into. That's what makes something successful. Not, oh, I sold 100 places into my group program. That's a success. Well, 2 months down the road, if you weren't really clear on what you were doing, you're going to find out like 95 of those people are going to come back asking for a refund.
Yeah. And I wanted to share, we do a lot of marketing research here at Sovereign, and it is a great way to network, first of all. Second of all, we always have some sort of incentive for them to take the quiz, if you will, or the questionnaire. We try to keep our questionnaires really short, like 5 questions max. And then we always say at the end, if they want the thing, to put their email address. We never market to them ever, 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 ever. Like we don't put them on our mailing list because we don't want that relationship to go sour. Now, if they decide to sign up on their own, that's different. But marketing research for us has shifted our business so many times in
Mm,
directions that I never, ever expected. And that's how Steps to Your Sovereign Self came. Our wonderful podcast producer, Faith Howley, she did marketing research, and people were tired of being talked to. They wanted
mm,
tangible things that could help them through the day. So we do everything from guided visualizations to meditations to practical exercises, things like this. And that's how that was birthed. And so use proof and validation and marketing research to help guide you because you're just putting yourself in your client's shoes and assuming, and when you don't have to. And you can build that relationship by inviting them into your world in some sort of way, like come into my private group for free or get a 50% discount on my next program. Some sort of incentive for them to take it. I can guarantee you If you send out 10, at least one will answer, guarantee you. So put the time and effort into it so that you can be guided intuitively by the people who are your clients.
If you could spend a little bit of time at the forefront mitigating the risk, why wouldn't you do it? And then you take action. It's like, look, I've mitigated as much risk as I can. Now I'm looking at this as a learning experience, right? I'm going to teach it. I'm going to do it, whatever it is. I'm going to launch it and I'm going to learn from it at the end. I'll go back and I'll kind of review what were my learning points, what worked, what didn't work. And instead of taking it on as like criticism, look at it as like, how can I make this better experience for the people that I'm helping, the people I'm working with? When we come at things with curiosity, it will only get better. So we mitigate the risks, we pre-validate, we don't try and learn a new skill to launch something if we haven't done it before. We check in with the people we're working with during the time that we're working with them, so we make sure everything's staying on track. We keep them happy. And then at the end of it, we sit down and say, hey, what would have worked better for them? But also, what would have worked better for me? Maybe I gave them too much of my time. Yeah. But you can't do any of that if you don't actually take the steps to do it. Take the
Yes.
action.
Yes,
Yeah.
take the steps. That is the point of today, is take the action. Make sure you shake up your snow globe.
Yeah. And see where the flakes settle. You know, the flakes may settle someplace you never expected. That could be a better place altogether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't know everything. Oh, I
Nope.
love talking to you, Chris. I'm so glad you get to come twice per month. So definitely tune in for our next episodes with Chris. If you want to connect with her, go to community.sovereign-magazine.com. All her details are in the show notes as well to connect with her on socials. Sending love till our next one.
Ciao.
Thank you for listening. This is the last episode for this issue. I'll be back again on the full moon with another soul-led entrepreneur here to help guide you to your sovereign self. Subscribe to our magazine and podcast and join our global community for all the magic. Details to connect with today's guest or join the movement are in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. It helps us reach our goal of guiding 5 million women to self-sovereignty.